I'm here at the overseas call centre of a large insurance company. With me is customer service team leader Mr. Bolte. Mr. Bolte, how easy is it to provide great insurance service to your customers?
Well, we're on another continent. You can never get through. We've no idea who you are, and we're only allowed to work from a script with the information on the screen in front of us. Frankly, you'd be better with High House.
High House Insurance, your local experts. High House Insurance don't pay to be on comparison websites, so your premiums are better value. For a free, no-obligation quote, call Celsey 606 552. High House, local, reliable insurance. High Street, Celsey.
Hi and welcome once again to Manhood Internet Radio's podcast. My name's Keith Barnes and I have to say it's good to be back with you after a few months off. And I'd like to say thank you to Tony Weiner. And Tony's decided that other commitments, personal commitments, he can no longer carry on putting together the podcast, which is a shame because I was getting very used to listening to his dulcet tones. So thank you once again, Tony. But I'm fresh back from holiday and fully revved up, as they say. Well, I would say, because while I was out there, I took the opportunity to go and drive some very fast cars very quickly. At least I thought it was very quickly. We were in Gran Canaria, and there's a company out there, the Supercar España, and they take you to Maspalomas race circuit, and you can drive these cars such as a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, an Audi R8, there's several, there's TVR Tuscan, and you can get a ride in an aerial Atom, which is about the fastest thing on four wheels I've ever been in. And I went out there, and Simon, the sales manager out there, he took care of me, and most of the way around he took care of me anyway. And I drove these cars very quickly, so I'm all revved up, I'm full of myself now. I drove an Audi R8 as fast as I could, a TVR Tuscan, and a BMW M3. Now that probably means very little to most of you, but I can assure you they are quick. But not as quick as the Aerial Atom. Now the Aerial Atom is a skeletal car. It's just a frame with an engine basically and a steering wheel, brakes thankfully. And Steve, the guy in charge out there, actually took me out for a few laps in it. And it does 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds, or 0 to 62 in 2.5 seconds. And I promise you, that is guaranteed to put a smile on your face. So if you're ever out in Gran Canaria, look them up. It's Supercar España. You can go on their website, www.supercarespana.com, and ask for Simon or Steve. But they're usually around and about in the Maspalomas area. And get your name down and go and drive one of these cars, and so you can tick it off in your book of life. It is so much fun. A little bit frightening, but so much fun. So get out there and give that a go. Well, anyway, we move on this week with quite a full show. The lovely Alison will be bringing us the weather, the tide times, and also a look at what's on in the area in Selsey and Bracklesham and the Witterings. We will hear from Les Hilton, and Les is going to be updating us on the upcoming show, which is the Old Time Musical to be held at the Pavilion in Selsey. We'll also hear from Warren Pasquale from Barnyard Butchers and Brian Sharpe from the Venture Club. And follow that with the answers to last week's quiz, and of course a new quiz for this week, and that will be the show for this week. So onwards we go, and we start with Les Hilton. Morning, Les.
Morning, Keith.
Now, the Old Time Musical really has been forced upon you, isn't it, by the demise of the
school.
The school, yeah.
Yes, I guess forced upon us is one way. I would like to see it as an opportunity we've now been given rather than forced upon us. But no, you're right. I mean, with the unfortunate tragedy of the school burning down, Sakos have basically lost their home of where we do our Easter shows. And obviously we normally put on full-scale musicals, but unable to do that this year. We hunted high and low for a different venue, but the committee decided that being Sakos, which is Selsey, we didn't want to go outside of Selsey, which was an option. We could have gone to the theatre in Bognor, which is quite a popular place, but we feel that Sakos, being a Selsey society, should stay in Selsey. So we had to rethink what we were going to do. the idea of an old time musical, strangely enough, has been bubbling around for a couple of years now. Not as a main show. Originally, it was an idea of maybe being one of our fundraising events, and we sort of looked into that a while ago, and it was something we thought about. And of course, with what had happened at the school, we thought, well, maybe this is the opportunity to do it, but rather do it as a fundraising event. Let's do it as a proper full-scale show. So that's basically where it came from, and we're very lucky that the lady who is our director, who's Leslie Lowe, who only joined the society for our Christmas extravaganza last Christmas. She's ran the societies that specialised in old time musical.
Right.
In her previous days. I mean, she was a professional actress, and she treaded the boards and all this sort of stuff. And then later on, she started a production company with her late husband, which specialised in old time musical. Then she retired down to the sea for a rest. Unfortunately, came and watched one of our shows and got the bug again.
We know how it happens, Liz.
Absolutely. So, that was great for us. So, the opportunity for someone that has done this before, because obviously the rest of us, none of us, as far as I'm aware, apart from possibly Ellis Berg, none of us have actually done old time musical before. And, I know I'm not a spring chicken, but I don't even remember it. And in all honesty, I don't even remember the good old days, which is what people talk about, because that was in the early 70s. So
that's right. I mean, I do remember, sadly, I do remember the good old days, and I tell you, but of course, people only remember the good old days. They don't really remember. There's not many people around nowadays that remember the real thing.
No, considering it started around 1850 now, I
exactly.
think,
But I'm sure everybody will enjoy it. I can't wait to come and see it. I have to say, it's my wife's been on about it for some time now and said, well, why don't they put on an old time musical? As you know, when I was involved with Sakos, she was always bending my ear to say, oh, well, why don't you put that forward? Why don't you put that forward? So I'm glad to see it's come up, and of course it's taking part in the pavilion now, which is a very suitable and very apt surrounding for it.
Yeah, I mean, again, possibly by luck really that we've fallen onto the pavilion, but it is the perfect era of theatre for it. It's it's a lovely venue for that kind of thing. Anyone that's been there know it is a bit rough and ready, but there's a great story behind the pavilion that I'm sure has been told on this station many times anyway. But one of the things that I did want to say today that maybe not a lot of people will know is that when Sakos actually started back in 1962, some 55 years ago, the first show they ever put on, which was a concert version of Merry England, was actually done at the Pavilion Theatre. So you could say we're going back to where we started. I mean, that was 1962, and they then went on and did the Gondoliers, Trial by Jury, and another show that I cannot pronounce.
Violently.
That's the one. So between 1962 and 1966, they did it at the Pavilion. So in some ways, it's actually really nice that we're going to go back and put a show on there. And another thing which is quite strange is when it left the Pavilion in 1967, it moved to the school and it moved to do Oklahoma, which of course, if anyone has been keen on watching Sakos, they would know that was the planned show for this year.
Yes.
To be put on at the school.
Yes.
So the irony is quite, it's quite interesting. But I think it's great. I mean, the Pavilion is going to be a good venue for it. We're not going to be able to have as many people attend as we're used to, so it's actually very important when we get to that part that you do go and get your tickets, because they are selling out quite quickly. We are limited to approximately 80 people per show. At the school we have taken up to 200, so of course that's quite a difference. Yeah. We are still doing 5 performances like we normally do, so the format is still the same. The performances are starting on Wednesday the 19th of April, running through to Saturday the 22nd. We have one show every evening starting at 7 o'clock. That's Wednesday through to Saturday. And on the Saturday, we have a Saturday matinee starting at 2 o'clock.
Well, it's 5 shows. It's going to be a very depleted income for you. for Sakos, sadly. I mean, whereas maybe in the past, over 5 shows, you'd get, I don't know, 700 or 800 people. Now, that's not going to be possible. If every house is full, you're only going to get 400.
400, yeah.
It's a very difficult time for Sakos, I guess, at the moment. I can certainly understand. I was one of those that thought it might have been a good idea to take it to Bognor because we might attract people outside Selsey to go and see it. But I also was cognizant of the fact that if people from Selsey didn't travel to see it, and people from Bognor couldn't be bothered to go and see it, it could have been a financial disaster. So, I was I was one of those that thought, well, let's put, it'd be a good idea to put it on put a proper show on in a proper theatre. I can understand why it should stay in Selsey.
It was a very difficult decision for the committee to make, to be honest. And I'm not going to say here and now that we won't ever do that, because obviously with the news of the school, and it doesn't look like there's going to be a venue available for probably at least the next couple of years, and we're not even sure what the school will be like when we get to it. We have seen some outline plans, but very outline at the moment. I'm not saying that won't happen. I'm just saying that, with everything taken into account, with the timing, with everything else, with the current way the committee feel, we just felt that this year we had to keep it here in Selsey. And I've always been a very pro Selsey chairman, as most people will know, and that's
only because you don't like travelling outside Selsey, Les.
Well, I do get the shakes when I get to Siddlesham. Spent many of my life away from Selsey, and now I'm here. I want to stay here.
Yeah,
but in all seriousness, it is a big change for Sakos. Yes, we're not going to get the income that we wanted, but on the other hand, we could have just cancelled it for a year. But we actually felt, no, we don't want to do that. This is something we do. It's put on for the community and the people in Selsey. Not only that, it's also, the society is also a members' society, so it's a club and people come because they
I can't see them accepting readily, Les, not doing a show.
No, exactly.
Knowing the members of Sakos the way they do.
It was a non-brainer.
There'd be a lot of people at the doctors with strange twitches and stuff that have developed if it was decided not to do a show at all.
And I'm glad that we did end up with it, and I do think it's going to be a terrific show. It has, the buzz around is everybody's looking forward to it.
Yes.
It's very different for Sakos. It's not a proper musical as such. Having done the rehearsals, it's very, very different. It's lots of different types of sketches and songs, and there's some lovely solo songs in there. There's some hilariously funny sketches. Well, at least I hope they're funny anyway, put it that way. And it's very different because unlike a normal musical, as you would know, Keith, is once you get your part, it flows through the actual musical. We're 1 minute we're doing a seaside Shayna, then next minute we're doing a London one, and then we're doing a Cockney one, and then there's several sketches. It's very much, you'd have loved it. I know you with your keeping your script, you'd have gone mad on this one. You'd have had scripts up everywhere.
Les is referring to the fact that when I did shows for Sakos, I was known for having the script in my hand to the very second that I went on, and I would read it all the time I was in the wings, and then just put it down on the side and walk on and do my part. So that's what he's referring to as me being known, not to want to part with my script readily. But obviously we need to urge people to get their tickets because ticket sales are going well, I understand, and because of the limited availability this year, because you can only get 80 people in as opposed to 200, tickets on the door might not be as readily available.
I certainly wouldn't rely on it. I'm not saying there won't be any, but I wouldn't rely on it. Currently I just looked at the ticket situation before I came out, and Saturday night we only have 7 tickets left. And I'll just run through the days. Wednesday we've got 25, Thursday we've got 16, Friday we've got 18, Saturday Matt we've got 24, and again Saturday evening we've only got 7. So I really wouldn't rely on it, but if there are any left over, of course we'll accommodate if we can.
By all means take a chance and turn up on the door, but the possibilities are much slimmer this year because of the capacity. So get yourself down to High House Insurance, because I guess that's where the tickets are available, is it?
Yeah, that's where they are. Good old Neil, High House Insurance, 121 High Street, Selsey. He's selling them. We are just about to come into the Easter weekend, so clearly he will not be open for all of that. So don't panic if he's not open. You can go online. You can go to www.sacos.org.uk, and on the homepage there is a button to buy tickets, and that will take you directly to our ticket source where you can get them online. So they will be available all over the Easter weekend, but obviously Neil is open from Tuesday.
So there you are. Get yourself either down to High House Insurance to get your tickets, or let your fingers do the walking and get on your keyboard and book them online. But whatever you do, get your tickets.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for coming in, Les. I'm really looking forward. I'm trying to sneak across the table and sneak a look at what he's got on his sheet there, because it tells you what's happening, but I can't read it. My eyes are that bad. So it'll be as much of a surprise to me as it will for everybody else.
All I can tell you, Keith, is it's going to be great fun.
Great. Well, I'm looking forward to it, Les. And I'll see you on the night.
Thank you very much.
And we go across to Alison now for her first item, which is a look at what's on in and around Selsey. Alison.
Hello there, and welcome once again to our weekly look at what's happening in Selsey. First of all, on Wednesday the 12th, all day long, there are the Selsey woodcarvers there meeting at the Scout Hut on School Lane. I say all day long, from 10 o'clock until 4 o'clock, all are welcome to go along to their meeting. In the morning, from 9:15 until 10:15, there's body conditioning. They meet at the Selsey Centre, and it's followed by fitter sitters. Then from 10 until 12, it's the day for the Selsey Model Boat Club. They meet at the pond on East Beach, where they sail radio-controlled boats, and new members, of course, are always welcome. If you're interested in that one, you need to speak to Chris on 601 550. And then in the afternoon, the Selsey WI will have their monthly meeting at the Town Hall. This month their speaker will be Andrew Gibson, and he's talking about the history and work of the Chichester Canal Trust. So if you're interested in that, or you'd like more general information about joining, then do contact Stella Christ on 603 221 or Heather Coleman on 604 603. So that's the Selsey WI on Wednesday 2:15 to 4:15. In the evening, the Selsey Community Choir will have their weekly rehearsal at the Methodist Church on the High Street. They start at 7 and finish at 8:30. And it's also the evening for carpet bowls at Medmary Primary School on School Lane. That starts at 7 and finishes at 8. Then on Thursday the 13th of April, it's the Jigsaw Puzzle Club. That's held at 14 Green Lane. You can just turn up and pick a puzzle. You need to contact 605 942 for that one. And the Puzzle Club will be open from 10 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. Also on Thursday, from 10:30 until 12:30 in the morning, at the RSPB on Pagham Harbour, there's an eggscapade. All participants will successfully complete the trail, and they'll win an Easter egg. Booking is essential, £4.50 for each child. In the afternoon, the Selsey Bridge Club have their meeting at Cox's Road, Selsey, from 2 o'clock until 5 o'clock. This is a friendly group of mixed ability. Carol has some more information on that one, 602250. In the evening, how about a game of walking football? This is a gentle game of football to keep you in shape. You're very welcome to go along to that, but you do have to be over 50. So that's 6 o'clock until 7:30 on Thursday evening. From 6:30 until 7:45, the Lighthouse Youth Club have their meeting at East Beach Church. That's for school years 5 to 8. And it is also time for the Whist Drive on Thursday, held at the Selsey Club, Cox's Road. They start at 7:30 in the evening. On Saturday the 15th of April, the Selsey Striders will meet at Hillfield Car Park. They meet at 8:30 until 9:30, and it says it's suitable for all. So if you want to find out more, 8:30 is the time to be there. And then also on Saturday, it's open house at the Little Spain Bowling Club on Golf Links Lane. Whether you are an experienced player or a complete newcomer to the game of green lawn bowls, why not come along and try the friendly club? All you need is a pair of flat shoes. You need information that can be obtained from 606 453. Now, if the weather's no good, the event will be held on Sunday the 16th instead, so we need to listen out later for the weather forecast. The Venture Plus have their weekly sale from 8:30 until 12, and also the Scouts have theirs from 10 until 12, both those on Saturday the 15th. Sunday the 16th of April, Easter Sunday of course, it's the Selsey Model Boat Club again at the pond on East Beach, weather permitting. This is where members sail their radio-controlled boats. And don't forget the first Sunday of the month, which will be in May, will be race day. New members are always welcome. Chris is the person to speak to on 801 550, and that meets from 10 o'clock until 12 o'clock. And then on Monday the 17th, Bank Holiday Monday, the carers are having their usual boot sale. So that's Monday. On Tuesday, at the RSPB, Pagham Harbour, there's mud sifting and crafts. From 10:30 and 12:30, you're invited to go along and find out what lives in the mud. And that attracts many, many birds. Booking is advisable for this event on 641508, and the cost for that is £3 per child. Sounds like adults go for free, but maybe not. Netball for All is also available on Tuesday from 7 in the evening until 8. That meets at the Academy Sports Hall. And in the morning, the Selsey carers have their coffee morning at 109 High Street. In the afternoon, 2:15 till 4, the St Peter's Fellowship meet at St Peter's Church Hall. Hope you find plenty to do out of that little lot. Bye for now.
Well, thank you for that, Alison, and we'll be hearing from you, of course, again a bit later on when we have a look around at what's happening in Bracklesham and the Witterings, and also at the weather and the tide times. And now, what you've all been waiting for, the answers to last week's quiz. There we go. Kevin asked us, which character did Vivian Leigh play in Gone with the Wind? Well, that was, of course, Scarlett O'Hara. What was the name of the floor walker played by Frank Thornton in Are You Being Served? That was Captain Peacock. What colour usually is an emerald? That's green. Which snooker player has appeared in 6 world finals and lost all of them? That's Jimmy White. What condiment are Coleman's of Norwich most famous for? And that is, of course, mustard. And the connection is, well, of course, it's Cluedo. And did you notice that there was one missing from there? And the missing one was Professor Plum. Of course it was. Well done for that. And I look forward to next week's quiz. Right, with me now, I've got Brian Sharpe. And Brian's the chairman of the Venture Club now. I'm sure you've all seen the Venture Club bus running around. Well, it's the 50th anniversary coming up, and Brian's going to be updating us on things that are taking place for the anniversary. Morning, Brian.
Good morning.
Now, I believe, you've got a couple of new buses coming.
Yes, very shortly.
They're being built to spec as we speak, I think, aren't they?
I sincerely hope so.
And 50th anniversary celebrations. I believe you've got something going on down at the Selsey Centre for members and their guests.
Yes, we're going to have a party in the afternoon. Obviously, refreshments, and there'll be some sort of entertainment.
And what date's that on?
That's the 24th of June.
24th of June. Now, I guess there's going to be a lot of... There's been, over the years, there must have been an awful lot of people involved with the Venture Bus or the Venture Club.
Oh, yes.
Are you going to have a bit of a get-together with...
We'd like we'd like to get memorabilia for starters. If anybody's got any, if they'd like to let us know, that we could either beg, borrow, or steal. We'd also like to hear from ex-helpers and or drivers, so that they can be invited.
Okay. Well, I guess 50 years ago the buses would have been quite different, wouldn't they?
They were like the old ice cream vans.
Yes, I can imagine so. Right, well, if anybody's got any memorabilia of the Adventure Club, dating back to whenever, and you'd like to loan it to them or give it to them or whatever you'd like to do, if you'd like to pass it on in any way, shape or form, if you contact Brian, and how do they do that, Brian, if they want to get hold of you?
They can always pop into the club, which is next door to the Southern Co-op, 9:30 till 11:30 in the mornings and 2:30 till 4 in the afternoons.
Okay, so there you go. You can pop into the club, which is just at the side of the car park there, if you're not quite sure where it is, and have a chat to them and tell them what you've got in the way of memorabilia. And of course, if you've been a driver over the years, or if you were one of the original drivers, be about 70 odd now, I should think. So
yes.
There's still possible, but it's still possible that there are some about. And if you'd like to contact them, and they'd love to welcome you and take part in the 50th celebration.
Yeah, and of course, if there's anybody out there who would like to join the club, then please pop in.
Well, the thing is with Adventure Club, people know it's there, but they don't really know what it does, and they really need to pop in and talk about that, don't they? Because it does an awful lot.
There's a lot of people see the word venture and think it's something to do with scouts.
Yeah, exactly that,
But
yes.
no. And my understanding is that there are a lot of people who've been living in Selsey for 20, 30 years don't know that we exist.
I believe that absolutely, Brian, because I've only lived here 11 years, but I was here for a little while before I found out anything at all about the Adventure Club. Yeah. And I have to say, exactly as you said, I thought it was something to do with the Scouts. And then it was only when I first saw the bus, I thought, oh, that's good, look, the local Scouts support this little bus service running around.
Yes.
So you can be rest assured, folks, that if you become a member of the Adventure Club, you won't be expected to climb trees or go camping, because it's for people of a certain age, shall we say. So if you'd like to join, or you'd like any further information, then please pop into the Adventure Club, which is at the side of the car park, and have a chat to them, and they're more than welcome you.
Yes, indeed.
Well, thanks very much for coming in, Brian, just giving us that little update on what's happening.
Thank you.
And I hope you get everything you need in the way of memorabilia and volunteers or ex-volunteers.
Yes.
And let's hope the 50th anniversary celebrations goes well. And let's hope we don't miss the bus, especially the new ones.
Yes, quite.
Well, thanks for that once again, Brian.
Okay,
We'll talk to you again soon. And so we go back over to Alison now, and she's going to be having a look at what's going on in and around Bracklesham and the Witterings. Alison.
Hello there, and welcome once again to our weekly look at what's happening in the Witterings and Bracklesham. As usual, on a Wednesday, there's a drop-in and play session for adults only, table tennis. That's at Bracklesham Barn between 10 and 12. Also on Wednesday, CBT motorcycle training at Bracklesham Barn. That's from 9 until 11. That is pre-booked only. Belly dancing with Step Inside takes place between 1 and 2, and then in the evening it'll be time for Zumba with Louise at 6:30, finishing at 7:30, followed by surf conditioning between 7:30 and 8:30. Every Thursday there's the Busy Bugs Toddler Gym. That meets again at Bracklesham Barn between 9:30 and 12 noon. There's Stitch and Yarn on a Thursday at Witterings Medical Centre between 10:30 and 12:30, and then Knit and Natter at East Wittering Library between 11 and 12:30. It's also the day for the Witterings Master Art Group between 10 and 12 at West Wittering Memorial Hall, and there's a Keep Fit exercise class at East Wittering Village Hall in the afternoon between 2 and 3. Over again at West Wittering, short mat bowls will take place between 10 and 12 and 2 until 4. That's held at the Memorial Hall. If you're interested in that one, contact Chris 07788 111 325. That's 07788 111 325 Chris with more information about short mat bowls. There's a mixed ability Pilates class at East Wittering Village Hall in the evening between 6 and 7. And then there's a private ballroom and Latin class beginning at 7 at the Village Hall in East Wittering. If you're interested in booking for that, you need to go online, www.strictlydancinguk.co.uk. There's bingo at the Legion at 7:30, and don't forget open mic night at Pond Barn at 8 o'clock. On Friday in the morning at Bracklesham Barn, Pilates takes place between 9:30 and 10:30, and there's also short mat bowls at Bracklesham Barn between 2 and 4. Also in the afternoon over in East Wittering at the Village Hall, there's Coastliners line dancing, 2 until 5. And then in the evening, early evening, Bracklesham Barn hosts the UK Film Academy. That's from 5 until 9. And then it's jukebox night at Pond Barn between 7 and midnight. Also private ballroom and Latin classes, 7 o'clock, East Wittering Village Hall. Again, you need to book www.strictlydancinguk.co.uk. Now, every Sunday, the Windrush Church have their meeting at Bracklesham Barn between 10:30 and 12:45. And then in the evenings, there's modern jive dancing between 7:30 and 9 at East Wittering Village Hall. And don't forget the regular quiz night at Pond Barn beginning at 8. Following that, on Monday, the Little Ducklings Mother and Toddler group meet at Bracklesham Barn between 9:30 and 11:30. And it's also short mat bowls at the barn, 10:30 until 1. Zumba with Louise between 6:30 and 7:30 in the evening, and there's line dancing at East Wittering Village Hall between 7 and 10. Yoga with Elaine takes place at Bracklesham Barn between 7 and 8:30, and there's also ARO Ladies Beginner Kickboxing with Verity. That's from 7:30 until 8:30. On Tuesdays, the Little Explorers have their Play and Learn Together session at Bracklesham Barn between 10 and 11:30. And there's Yoga with Elaine at the barn, one session at 9:30 and another one at 10:45. Strength and Balance takes place at the barn between 2 and 3, and then again 3 until 4. In the afternoon, Up for Dance Boys Junior Dance Group have their session between 3:30 and 4:30. And then at 4:30, the Up for Dance Mishmash takes place for all juniors. Again, Bracklesham Barn, 4:30 until 5:30. There's also Tai Chi between 4 and 5, and the Beginner Ukulele Club at the barn, 6:30 until 8:30. Over in West Wittering, the Community Pop Choir rehearses at the Memorial Hall between 7 and 9. And then back at Bracklesham Barn, it'll be the evening for the Badminton Club, 7:30 until 9:30. And there's free pool at the Pond Barn on a Tuesday. Let's have a look at the specials now. Saturday the 15th of April, there's going to be a craft fair between 10 and 4 at West Wittering Memorial Hall, so you're very welcome to try that. There's also another session on the 16th of April, that's Easter Sunday, from 10 until 4. Again, West Wittering Memorial Hall is the venue for that. Now, don't forget the mobile tip this week. Our gardener, David, has asked me to mention this, that the tip will take place on Thursday the 13th of April at the Witterings. You can find that at Marine Drive Car Park, opening at 8:15 and closing at 3. They take all your green garden waste, they take wood, they take metal items, cardboard, paper and shredded paper, and also small electrical items. Now that's not for the trade waste, so we can't send David down there, but if you've got anything domestic, then that's the day to go.
And thank you once again, Alison, and we'll catch up with you with the tide times and the weather just a little bit later on. Now, it's always good to hear of a local small business doing well, and I'm pleased to say that my next guest is the owner of such a business that's doing extremely well. And that gentleman is Warren Pasquale from Barnyard Butchers. And last time I spoke to you, Warren, was a little while ago now, and you were at the barnyard over at...
Yes, we was. Sadly, it closed down now. The owners had a bit of a problem, so I think they've called it a day. So we had lucky enough that we had the shop in Selsey. So
yeah, well, that was a pretty smart move, because when I was talking to you then, when I interviewed you then, you were just in the throes of sorting out the shop in Selsey.
Yeah,
you were just about to move.
Yeah, it's been a really good move actually. We've been really lucky.
Been very busy, isn't it?
Yeah, been really busy. Loved the community. People have been really.
It's always great to hear, a success story, as it were, for local businesses, because they've been not doing so well of late. Recently, with the oncoming of Asda, seems to frighten everybody off.
Yeah.
But it's great to hear that you're doing well.
I think if you stay positive with it, I think it's going to be, you've got to look at the good side.
Yeah, I think, especially with the likes of the butchers and the bakers, people will carry on using them regardless.
Yeah, exactly.
And the cafes as well. Yeah. Of course, they'll do well out of it. So if you can supply the cafes, then so it goes on. But it would always be sad to lose any of the local fresh food businesses.
Certainly.
But I think they'll survive, and I think they'll do well.
Yeah.
Now, how about yourself? Have you got any other expansion plans?
Yeah,
in
we've
mind?
got a really good. It's a good chance for us, really. We might be opening a new shop in Burdham in the Nissa stores.
Oh, I know, the one by the garage.
Yeah, that could be early. We're in the process of could be the next couple of months. So it's going to be a good opportunity for us.
Oh, you're going to be stretching yourselves a bit.
A little bit. Yeah, so we'll probably be looking for new staff.
Yeah,
so, certainly.
That's never a bad thing to hear that there's going to be some jobs going locally.
Yeah, definitely.
Is there a wealth of trained butchers around?
No, there's not really. But if there is anybody out there, please give us a call.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? Because everybody thinks of butchers, they forget that they've got to be trained. I once went to a place just outside Cambridge. It was a small place, and the whole village really was owned by a local meat company that produced all these things like ham and turkey roll and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But they had 120 butchers working for them, and so they had every butcher from the whole area.
Did they really?
So butchers' shops were few and far between.
Yeah, no kidding. We'd like to get some new lads, like get some lads that are interested in butchery. It's a really good career to get into. As there's not so many around this area, so. And it's a good trade. Money's quite good, So.
Yeah, well, it's hopefully you'll get somebody that it's not everybody's cup of tea, cutting up carcasses as it were, but
no, we will look after them. We look after their fingers.
I was going to say, you can usually tell a poor butcher when it comes to counting.
Definitely.
So you've been doing really well then. The shopping sales has been great.
No, it's been really good. We had a great Christmas. Very busy. We've done really well. But it's just really, we're trying to look after the local community. We look after all the pensioners. We're doing a delivery service now. So if there's anything that people want, we want to be able to go to them if they can't get to us. So they've only got to call us and we'll happily deliver. We're staying within the Selsey area. So
well, that's great news because there aren't an awful lot of people that are not as mobile as they'd like.
Exactly,
and they can't get out. But they can putter around the kitchen and cook themselves a meal. But but if they can't get out to buy the ingredients, then it's going to be difficult.
We do miss our customers. I've noticed a few that don't come in, and I sort of know when they're due in and sort of stuff. So a lot of people. To get illnesses and stuff, so it's nice to see them again. So that's what I said.
Sadly, it's the age thing because of the age of the community in Selsey, and certainly predominantly elderly people, shall we say?
Yeah.
That sort of thing happens, doesn't it?
I think a lot of people think that there's a minimum sort of order. They have to buy so much, but we're around the area. We don't mind delivering it at all. We're not busy, but we'll always make sure we get a delivery service to them.
Well, that's great news. See? So you don't have to worry if you only want a little bit of meat and you don't want to buy a 100-weight of steak. You don't have to. If you talk to Warren and you only want a half a pound of steak, they'll find a way of getting it to you.
No problem at all, So,
well, it's great news to hear that you're doing so well, Warren. And,
thank you.
It's good of you to take time out to come in and talk to us.
Thanks very much.
I know you're rushing about.
Thank
busy.
You. Thank you for your time. Thank you. If anybody wants to give us a call, it's 01243 607 548.
There you go. You can contact them, and if you're a budding butcher and you want to talk to Warren about that, he'll be more than happy to pass on his skills.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure. Thanks for coming in, Warren.
Thank you.
Time now for this week's quiz. Now, you know how Kevin performs. He doesn't like to make life too easy for you, and I don't imagine that this week's is going to be any different. Kevin.
Right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you may be listening. This is Kevin the Quiz with this week's Connections quiz. 5 general knowledge questions. What is the connection And this week, this one is a very local connection, so it's one for people that live in Chelsea. Question number 1. Who wrote the books about the Wizard of Oz? Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. Who wrote the books? Question number 2. Which family did Paddington Bear live with when he came from Peru? Question number 3, British history. Who led the mutiny on the Bounty against Captain Bligh? Question number 4, football question. Where did Bournemouth AFC play their home games? What's the name of the stadium? And question number 5, bit of soap opera. What part did Gillian Tailforth play in EastEnders? What was her character name? So there's your 5 questions. What connects all the answers, and it's a local connection. Good luck.
And thanks for that, Kevin. I did say I didn't think you'd make it too easy for us, and you haven't. Thank you. And I look forward to the answers next week. And finally, now we go across to Alison for a look at the weather for the upcoming week and the tide tables. Alison.
Time now to look at the Easter weather and see what the bank holiday will bring us. Good Friday, 12 degrees Celsius, so headed back up, 54 degrees Fahrenheit, thick cloud, 12 mile an hour wind, west-southwesterly. On Saturday, temperatures remaining steady at 12 or 54, but this time with sunny intervals, 16 mile an hour wind, west-northwesterly. Easter Sunday, temperature dipping slightly, 11 degrees Celsius, 52 degrees Fahrenheit, light cloud cover, 15 mile an hour wind, northwesterly. And bank holiday Monday, 12 degrees Celsius, 54 degrees Fahrenheit, sunny intervals, 13 mile an hour wind, northwesterly. And on Tuesday, the temperatures holding steady at 12 or 54, light cloud cover, 13 mile an hour wind again, west-northwesterly. Now let's have a look at the tide times for people who'd like to walk along the seafront. On Wednesday, we can expect a high at 1:05 and a low at 6:45. That will change during the week, don't forget. Moving out to Tuesday the 19th with a low at 10 to 10 in the morning and a high at 25 to 5 in the afternoon. So, that's good news on the weather front, holding quite steady. Hope you enjoy the bank holiday, and I'll speak to you again next week. Bye for now.
And that just leaves me to say thank you to Alison for what's on and for the weather and the tide tables, and to our guests, Les Hilton, to Brian Sharpe, to Warren Pasquale, and of course to Kevin the Quiz. And this is Keith Barnes saying thanks for listening. See you again soon. Bye for now.